Alright guys, in this video and the next series of videos I'm going to be teaching you about the concept of my tiers of freedom, and people are wondering what it's about, so I thought I'd share, not only tell you what it's about, but kind of break it down into detailed lessons that are actually going to give you value and help you change your mindset towards how to go about building financial freedom and actually going after it and achieving it with true, tangible and measurable goals. And that's really what it's all about. So when people come to me, normally first thing they think of is, I just need this strategy, just give me a stock pick, or tell me the hottest investment, or tell me how to trade. And look, I've worked with thousands and thousands of traders. I've worked with thousands of people messaging me on social media trying to really just get into speculation or get rich quick. And the problem with doing that is they try to jump the ladder, and they kind of build this upside down pyramid that's susceptible for toppling over, quite frankly, instead of building the foundations. And I know foundations don't sound exciting or sexy, but there's a lot less to it than you think. And a lot of it can be automated and set and forget, and it's seriously going to drastically and dramatically shift the course of your financial destiny if you put this foundation in place. And then you can get on to higher speculation. So the tiers of freedom is really all about each step, and I'm going to walk you through each step. So as I mentioned, people who go into trading, they don't realize that in speculation requires the highest level of psychology. And if you haven't got your psychology right on the other tiers of the structure here, you're not going to succeed in speculation. So what I'm going to share with you is what's been based on my own personal life, my own journey, and exactly what I did in order to reach complete financial freedom by the time I was 30 years old. And I'm going to be sharing that with you over these next series of lessons. So first things first, look, you're probably asking, well, this could just be another, wealth strategy. And look, I'll be honest with you, there's no shortage of strategies out there, is there? But think about that. If there's no shortage of strategies, and maybe you've attended a few or tried your hand at a few, and you haven't really got the results that you want, why is that? And the reason that is because a lot of the strategies out there are just one piece of the puzzle. They are incomplete, they're partial, and they're padded out with showmanship and fluff to make it and package it into one product that worked for someone, but it may not work for you. It's not sustainable. It's a speculation. By picking one wealth strategy like that is a speculation in itself, and that's why you don't get results, because the chances are that it's difficult on your lifestyle, it's difficult on your personality, and it just doesn't, it requires too much of your energy that you're not inspired to give, because you don't have wealth building as a natural driving force. You haven't ever had that, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So I'm going to show you exactly how to get it onto your highest values and how to build a system that's actually going to allow you to definitely achieve financial freedom if you follow the steps. Now, before you watch this series, you might have read a few books. You might have read the Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you might have read Barefoot Investor or The Millionaire Next Door, which are all good books, right? But what I just said about partial strategies, they're incomplete. Like, for instance, one of the, what you'll hear many times is save 10% of your income. Well, let's just say that you save 10% of your income and you're in a job for 40 years. Well, for every 10 years you save 10% of your income, you're going to have 1 year's worth of income to spend. So after 40 years in your job, you're going to get towards the end of that 40 years and think, I was told to save 10% of my income and I've only got like 4 years worth of income now. So I'm 65 and I'm going to run out of money by the time I'm 69. And that's not what we want. So it's incomplete. Although that's a piece of the puzzle, it's not the whole picture. That's why people get resentful. That's why people get to that age and think, sod it, I'm going to blow this on something to get a good, get something that I wanted for me all that time, because I'm resentful because I saved all this money and it's not actually going to last me very long. So now I'm having a bit of a meltdown. And then there's pensions. People put money into pensions, and the average pension pot's 87.5 grand here in the UK, which equates to about £600 per month when you retire. And that's not allowing for inflation or anything like that. So that's not complete either. And then I know people who save every penny they've got, and they've got like they become millionaires in the bank, and they're disempowered. They feel like they haven't lived. And then on the other side, I see people trying to earn more money and hustle and earn more money, and they end up on a treadmill, and they're very, very resentful, and they try and escape their life every weekend. Most people who say they value money actually value spending money. They don't value building wealth. And I'm going to show you how you can have both. My goal for you in this video series is to teach you exactly the step-by-step on how I put this program together based on my tangible results, what I actually did in my own life, so that you can actually see that there's actually light at the end of a very short tunnel. All right, so just to really quickly go over and briefly explain the concept of the structure of this strategy, I'm going to do a little diagram. So look, imagine that we've got this foundation down here, and this is what we would call tier 3. Okay, so we've got this kind of tiered shape here, and we're starting to build this kind of pyramid, because what most people do when they try and build wealth is they try and build this upside down pyramid. They start at they try and throw all their money into speculation, and the thing topples over. There's no sustainability there. I want you to think about this as something that if the next layer up crumbles, it doesn't affect your wealth because you've got a cushion below. So the first tier here is the most important. It's the foundation. This is what we call tier 3. Okay, and tier 3 is all about getting the right mindset. Okay, so it's broken up into 3 components. Mindset's very important, right? First of all, there's going to be limiting beliefs that you might have about money. There's going to be guilts and shames in your past that affect you that stop you from accumulating more money, and every time you get some money you might feel like you want to give it away or get rid of it because you're not worthy of it. You might have a victim mentality when it comes to money. You might be a bit of a martyr. There's certain personality types that you will have that will profile your money type, and we need to establish what that is and make sure that it's not affecting you building wealth. The next thing would be having an objective. Okay, now this is what I'm going to go over in a bit more detail, but this is really having the why, what you want and why you want it, and having the figures that you're going for, and knowing a clear direction, and having that cause bigger than just your day-to-day. I often talk about how like imagine you're in a tractor, and if you was looking straight ahead mowing a field, you'd get in a straight line to the end of the field. But if you was looking down at the floor, you'd be swaying all over the place, and you'd be swung around day to day, and it'd look like a right mess. It would take you much longer to get to the other side. That's what this is for. It's having a purpose, so you know what you're going after, so that you can just focus on that every day. And when you've got that cause, the what, the why, the hows take care of themselves, right? And the next one is the cornerstone. Okay, so this is really the piece in the puzzle of the foundation that allows everything to be built on top. This is essentially where you build your wealth liquidity system. I'm talking about setting up your personal finances, optimizing your expenses, automating all of your banking, making sure that when it starts raining, all the buckets are set up to catch as much rain and grow it as much as possible. So think of it like building this liquidity system, and then as we build on that, we're just going to throw more and more water into the system, and you know that the system you've set up is optimized for maximum growth and maximum efficiency. So that once that's done, we can then move on to the next part of the structure. And the next part is really saving and saving until you've got what equates to 3 to 6 months worth of your current living expenses or lifestyle expenses stored in what we call a cash buffer. Okay, so this is going to be cash buffer 1. Now, we all know the importance of that now. We've been through a global pandemic, and when the pandemic hit, everyone went into lockdown, and those who had these cash reserves were the ones that didn't go back down into animal brain mode, right? Into the mindset again, where they're out there scratching and clawing and worrying and panicking and trying to compete on price and win business and all that kind of stuff, acting in survival mode. So this cash buffer allows you to stop going back into that animal brain, if you've worked on your mindset to get up to that level, we don't want to go back down to where you came from. We want to allow that to maintain. So the cash buffer, it does that. And once you've got 3 to 6 months living expenses in cash, in liquidity, we can then start moving up to tier 2. Now tier 2 is really all about growth. So tier 2 is where we're going to see growth. And it's really in a few different, there's a few components to tier 2, and it looks like this, okay? So tier 2, investing, okay? So investing, this is about investing passively and investing in large cap stocks, diversification. It's about making your money grow. All of your income that's coming in, it's about making it grow, and all of the money that's in your investment account and your liquidity system, it's about making that grow to outdo inflation and grow at a rate that beats the mass population. So investing in the markets, investing in stocks, in large cap stocks. Also, tier 2 is all about how you grow as an individual. So income growth, business growth, how you raise yourself, how you develop yourself, how you scale your lifestyle, how you understand when you can have certain trinkets and rewards and goals and things like that, and when you can purchase certain, luxuries. Because if you're not managing your lifestyle wisely, I believe that you can have it all. I believe that we can have the things that we want and have an inspired life and have lots of build wealth. But if you're not doing it at the right ratio, you're going to come into problems. And the fundamental component of this block is the business income, the income growth aspect of it, because the way that you develop income will have a direct impact on how free you feel. So this isn't about going out and hustling hard and working longer hours. This isn't about, staying in a corporation and working your way up a ladder. This is about certain types of income that maintain passivity and mobility, and they're highly leveraged so that you can have quantum income growth that just comes in leaps and bounds without going out and exchanging time for money. Time for money is dead. We do not want to be exchanging time for money. So there's certain aspects you need to pay attention to when you're trying to generate more income, and there are certain rules and laws that you need to abide by if you're to follow the principles of being always free. Now what we like to have after that is another buffer, which is another 3 to 6 months living expenses in working for you in the markets. Okay, so your first buffer is just about having liquidity and cash sat in a high interest account to relieve the animal brain. The second cash buffer is about having 3 to 6 months living expenses working for you in the markets. Okay, then once you've acclimatized to that and you're happy with what you're doing here, just bear in mind that down here is going to require the least effort, the least skill, the least time, the least risk. Okay, and then as you get up here, it's going to be the most effort, the most skill, the most time, the most risk, the most leverage is available to you. So you want to bear that in mind, but once you've got to this level of the structure, that's when you can start thinking about speculating professionally. That's when you're going to have the right mindset. You're going to be a seasoned investor. You're not going to be run by your emotions, and by this point you're taking a portion of the liquidity system and just putting it into speculation, so at a level where you just know that you can afford to lose it, and if you lose it, it doesn't matter. You just crumble back down to cash buffer 2, and then you just wait and you start again. And that is a true sustainable, long-lasting generational wealth structure there. So the final tier is tier 1, and that is all about speculation. That's where you really start to accelerate your returns. That's where you start taking a portion of that liquidity system, accelerating it so that the overall investment account grows, your wealth grows, and you get to a level where you could achieve financial freedom. And I'm going to be going over what financial freedom is in the in the next lesson. So tier 1 is where you're more of a trader. Okay, so you might be trading in Forex, stocks, you might be trading in property, You might be trading in art, fine wine, classic cars, jewelry, all of that kind of stuff, right? You're a trader, you're flipping, you're buying and selling at a faster rate because you've developed the skill to do so, and you've had the time and the energy to focus on developing that skill. And that's when you can start to build, really accelerate the whole liquidity system. And then once that's in play and we've got this whole thing swimming and flowing, that is going to take very, very little of your time, believe it or not, and the whole thing grows and it accelerates faster than 98% of the population building wealth or trying to build wealth, and you'll be a minority. And the reason you're a minority is, think about it logically, right? Most people try to chuck everything they've got into speculation, which means when they try and attempt their hand at trying to learn and master the skill of speculation, they're under a time pressure. And that means that they're going to not have the attention span required to learn those skills. They're going to miss something, they're going to slip up, and they're going to jeopardize their system. Just the same way if people that try and go to this tier without having their finances together down here and having the right mindset and having the cash buffer, what happens is when they try and build a business, their products and services here are not created out of love, and they get short with customers, they compete on price, they exchange time for money, and they can't do that effectively. They can't earn as much money as they possibly can in this section because they don't have this. It's a catch-22, and they can't build the cash buffer unless they have this and this, right? So they have to have a means of doing that in the first place in order to transcend this entire structure. And without doing one before the other, you're very, very unlikely to get there. Now, there's some other things to bear in mind here to do with leverage, but and capital rebalancing and things, which I'm going to go over in later lessons. But this is just to give you an outline of this and how it can help you become financially free. And the beauty of this is as we become more free and able to focus on meaningful work and work that is meaningful to us, we become better humans. We become more caring, more loving, more creative. We produce better products. And when we manage our money wisely, we find more money to manage. We simply earn more money as a result of being more free as a byproduct. So just to wrap this up, look, most people go out and they try and scale their income and they raise their expenses at a level that's just behind their income, and they're lost. They don't have any objective. They don't have any goal, they don't know what they're going after, and they increase their expense streams, but they don't increase their income streams, and they just get burned out. And they never actually reach it because they haven't got an objective. What's more is they haven't taken the time to sit down and think, what is it they actually want to do, and then aligning their life and actions and decisions to moving towards that goal. So look, a great question is, if you didn't have to work on Monday and you never had to go in again, what would be the first thing you do on Monday? What is it you really would get up to do even if you wasn't being paid? And the key is to then write down 100 reasons on how working on wealth building and working towards financial freedom is going to help you do that every single day of your life. And don't stop until you get 100 reasons. So as I say, this is an outline of my life's work and my Tiers of Freedom program. In the next lesson, we're going to be talking about how you can get clear about knowing your numbers and have very, very clearly build on this objective of knowing where you're going and how long it's likely to take to get there. So I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, so listen, if you want to catch the rest of this video series where we're going to be going after the want and the why, the objective, we're then going to be going over expenses, we're going to be going over asset accumulation, we're going to be going over leverage, trading and hedging, and how it all fits together to create true financial freedom. Put your name and the email address in the link in the description and you'll get access to all of those lessons. So I'll see you in the next one.